So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we clearly cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. Now, the purpose of this lecture series, as I've mentioned before, is twofold. One, you get to revise your current affairs. The other is to get the much needed MCQ practice, because without that, you won't be able to clear your prelims examination. Whether it's for UPSC or any other state civil services examination, prelims is the first stage. You need to cross this stage, then only you can sit for mains. You all know this. And prelims cannot be crossed without the much needed MCQ practice. Now, you need MCQ practice for static subjects as well, like polity, geography, history. You need MCQ practice for everything. But throughout the entire syllabus of UPSC, Civil Services Examination, current affairs is an extremely important part. And to cross prelims, you need to get a grip on current affairs. And what better way to get a grip on current affairs for prelims examination than MCQ practice? So every day we'll cover 4 to 5 MCQs. We'll cover those MCQs from a particular day's current affairs. And it might look like a little effort. It might look like a small effort, like 4 to 5 MCQs. Okay. But these 4 to 5 MCQs daily would add up to 1200 MCQs by the time you're ready for your prelims examination next year. So it might seem little, but it's little on a daily basis. These little efforts would add up to this much. Okay? And this is quite a lot. 1200 MCQs from current affairs alone are quite a lot. Okay? So make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. Make it a daily habit of yours. All right. Enough of the introduction. Now let's start with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding planet Venus. 56.5% of Venusian atmosphere is made up of carbon dioxide. Venus's atmosphere is thinner than that of Earth and it takes 243 days to complete one rotation around its axis. No lander has ever survived on Venus for more than 2 hours. How many of the above statements are correct? Now look, Venus is the hottest planet in our universe. Solar system, right? But it's not the closest planet to the sun. Mercury is the closest planet, yet Venus is the hottest planet. Why? Because Mercury has no atmosphere, but Venus has a very dense atmosphere. And that atmosphere contains carbon dioxide, which has a greenhouse effect. Because of this greenhouse effect, the entire heat transmitted to it by the sun is trapped inside. And that is why it is the hottest planet in the universe, right? Now, Venus's atmosphere is quite thick. It is, in fact, 93 times thicker than that of Earth. And that is why atmospheric pressure on the surface of Venus is way larger than atmospheric pressure on Earth. Okay? Now, Venus's atmosphere contains carbon dioxide, but how much carbon dioxide? It is said that Venus's atmosphere contains 96.5% carbon dioxide. So, most of Venus is made up of carbon dioxide, most of Venus's atmosphere. So it's not 56.5, 96.5. Okay. Now, Venus has certain peculiar features also, though this planet is known as Earth's twin. Why? Because it has a similar size, mass, density like Earth. But it has certain unique features also. One feature is it is the hottest planet. The other feature is the atmosphere is quite dense. And another feature is that Earth rotates in around 24 hours around its axis. Okay, Earth takes around approximately 24 hours to rotate around its axis. Venus takes 243 days. It rotates very slowly. Okay, but it does take 243 days, but its atmosphere is not thinner. It's thicker than that of Earth. That is why statement 2 is also incorrect. Now, Venus's atmosphere is so thick that the atmospheric pressure on the Venusian surface is quite high. So high that no lander from any space agency has ever survived more than 2 hours on the surface of Venus. Yes, NASA, European Space Agency, many space agencies have sent landers on Venus, but those landers get crushed because of Venus's atmospheric pressure and temperature. No lander has survived more than 2 hours. So this part is correct. Only one. Okay. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding Kurgan hypothesis. As per this hypothesis, humans first domesticated horses around 3500 BC. This domestication was instrumental in the spread of Indo-European languages to different parts of the world. Okay. Which of the above statements is are correct? Now, what is Kurgan hypothesis? Kurgan hypothesis says that horse was first domesticated by humans around 3500 BC, and it was domesticated by ancient human beings. These ancient human beings lived around Black Sea in Central Asia or Eurasia. And these ancient human beings who lived around Black Sea were called Yamanya. Right? Now, because they were able to domesticate horses, they could travel to long distances. They could travel long distances and far off places on a horseback, right? And they did precisely that. Because they were able to travel long distances, these Yamanya started traveling to different parts of the world. They traveled to Europe, they traveled to Central Asia, they traveled to Indian subcontinent, and with them, they started spreading their languages. Now, their language was spread in India, their language was spread in Central Asia, Russia, Europe, and after many years, these languages evolved on their own, right? It is said that various languages spoken in India and Europe are similar, and they belong to one family of languages called Indo-European family of languages. The reason why these languages are similar, it's because it belongs to one set of root languages, or it belongs to one language that spread across the world. This language was spread by Yamanya people. So Yamanya people spoke a particular language, they spread that language to different parts of the world, and those languages evolved on their own. But they had similarities, and that is why they are called Indo-European languages. So both these statements are correct. Okay. Question number 3. Which of the following statements is correct regarding sustainable aviation fuel? International Civil Aviation Organization's CORSIA scheme makes the use of SAF and aviation turbine fuel blend mandatory in all domestic and international flights from 2027. Both SAF and ATF are derived from crude oil. SAF has higher technological and cost requirements than ATF. Okay. Now, which of the above statements is correct? Look, aviation or aeroplanes use a particular kind of fuel called aviation turbine fuel. This aviation turbine fuel is derived from crude oil. Like petrol and diesel are derived from crude oil, right? But this aviation turbine fuel has a problem. It emits a lot of greenhouse gases, which cause global warming. So the aim of international organizations is that they want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from civil aviation, right? Therefore, International Civil Aviation Organization launched a scheme called CORSIA scheme. Under CORSIA scheme, from 2027, all international flights would reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. And how would they reduce their greenhouse gas emissions? They would use another fuel called sustainable aviation fuel. Along with ATF, they will make a blend of these two fuels, and they would use this blend for powering their aeroplanes. Now, how is SAF going to be beneficial? The thing is that SAF is not derived from crude oil. It is a biofuel. And because it is a biofuel, it emits very little greenhouse gases. And it is compatible with ATF also. So if you blend SAF with ATF, you will reduce your greenhouse gas emissions. So ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, with this CORSIA scheme, made it mandatory for all international flights to use a blend of SAF and ATF. But remember, they made it mandatory for international flights, not domestic flights, because domestic flights is the domain of particular countries. Only international flights are going to mandatorily use this blend. So this is false because it says domestic as well. Both SAF and ATF are derived from crude oil, not at all. ATF is derived from crude oil, SAF is not derived from crude oil, it's a biofuel. So this is also false. Now, SAF is difficult to create, manufacture. It has a higher technological and cost requirement. This part is true. Oh, sorry. Not only one, only 3. All right. And last, consider the following statements regarding country of Tuvalu. It is a small island nation in Polynesian region of Oceania, Pacific Ocean. It was colonized by the French in the past and was called Ellice Islands. Tuvalu is experiencing faster sea level rise than global average. Now, which of these statements are correct? Now, look, Tuvalu is a Pacific island country. It lies in the Pacific Ocean. It is a small island country, lies in the Pacific Ocean, and lies in the Polynesian region of Pacific Ocean. Polynesian region of Oceania, Pacific Ocean. Oceania is a collective name for Australia, New Zealand, and various Pacific Island states. Okay, so it lies in the Polynesian region. It actually lies between Australia and Hawaii in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so it's a small island nation, absolutely correct. It was once colonized by the British, and that is why it is a part of British Commonwealth. And back then it was called Ellice Islands by the British. So not French, British. Currently, Tuvalu is in the news. Why? Because Tuvalu is experiencing a faster sea level rise, and it is said that in a few years' time, Tuvalu or majority of Tuvalu's territory would get submerged under the sea because sea level rise is threatening this country's survival. So this part is correct. 1 and 3. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it would add value to your preparation. Though it would add more value if you download the PDF file for this lecture, which contains detailed written explanation for all the questions discussed. Now, this PDF file can be downloaded from our Telegram channel. And how can you access our Telegram channel? Well, just below this video, there is a comment section. And I have put a link of our Telegram channel in the comment section. You can click on that link, reach our Telegram channel, follow it, and download the PDF file for not just this lecture, but all the other lectures featuring on our YouTube channel. Okay? On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.